The following program is a production of WMFE, Orlando, Melbourne, Daytona Beach.
Coming up on The Arts Connection. Are the arts on your holiday shopping list?
I think people are going to be thinking very hard about what they are going to buy and what they are going to give. And there is a intrinsic value to the gifts that they will be given.
We meet the gifted talent behind the brass band of Central Florida.
Watching people who've never heard a brass band before and just watching them listen. You can tell that they're hearing something they've never heard before. It's a surprised look.
And can you name this American dance tradition?
He's keeping this American tradition alive, teaching an average of 9 hours a week here in Longwood, Florida.
All that and more just ahead on The Arts Connection.
The Arts Connection is made possible by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and by contributions to WMFE from viewers like you. Thank you.
Hello and welcome to The Arts Connection, your program about all things creative here in Central Florida. I'm Secily Wilson and we're here at the Festival of Trees at the Orlando Museum of Art. This traditional display of artistically decorated trees is a major fundraiser for the museum. And for a whole week, visitors can come in and ooh and ah over the displays and even bid on them or enter a raffle to win one. And yes, we're going to meet one of the talented tree designers in just a bit. But first, the art of giving has true meaning this holiday season, especially if you're giving the gift of the arts to loved ones. Now, with this story, I had the chance to do what I do best, shop till I drop at local gift stores at local venues, and all in search for the perfect gift. The holiday shopping season will soon be in full swing, but with a lot less cha-ching. The tight economy is leaving shoppers strapped for cash.
We're already feeling the impact of it. We're hearing people say, I'm not buying for me this year, I'm only buying for my friends, my family, and I'm not buying as much.
And thinking twice about gift giving.
I think people are going to be thinking very hard about what they are going to buy and what they are going to give. And there is a intrinsic value to the gifts that they will be given.
The downturn is also affecting the arts community. Deidre Peeler runs the gift shop at the Maitland Art Center. She says cutbacks are taking their toll.
The arts, as I say, they've been cut out of so many programs that you need to support them to keep creativity growing.
True to form, they come up with a creative way to do just that.
The museum shop is a wonderful way. If people want to give, they can purchase in the museum shop and it comes right back to the museum.
If unique, original, and cost-friendly gift ideas are what you're looking for, then check out the shelves at your local museums. You can find everything from jewelry, pottery, or note cards. Jamison Thomas at the Orlando Museum of Art says it's the perfect way to keep a little extra cash in your pocket and help support our local artists.
We've decided here that we would really try to showcase their work and help promote their work through the products that we sell in the store.
Ann Peoples at the Manello Museum agrees.
I have on a beautiful necklace that was made by actually our office manager, Kim Robinson. She is an artist. It gives you a feeling that you're really a part of the community, you're helping an artist, and it's a win-win.
You may not find the necklace at the Manello, but you will be able to take home your very own Earl Cunningham painting.
This is called a G clay, and what it is a print on canvas. You could actually buy this for somebody and they would have their own Cunningham painting.
Keep in mind, the Manello isn't your only choice.
If you want something that is original and you want to support an artist, you want to come here.
Here is the Maitland Art Center.
I don't have anything very expensive in the shop. I try and keep prices very reasonable. And each and every piece is handmade and it is unique. The bracelets are beautiful handmade glass by Sonia, who is a local artist. We have a variety of their eye candy.
Speaking of candy, they've got that too.
They are little mints with the mural from our fireplace in our boardroom, which is the room we're standing in now. We also have yummy stocking stuffers of dark chocolate.
Other items that we have are wonderful candies that are dipped in chocolate and coated in sugar and absolutely delicious. And they are sunflower seeds and pistachio nuts. Just a little tiny box of $7. You can put it into a martini glass and it just makes a magnificent gift.
Not to mention the gift that doesn't require a size or a color, the gift of reading.
We have books on all the artists from Earl Cunningham, Donald DeLue, Impressionists, Highwaymen.
So make your list and check it twice.
When you buy something in the art museum, you're giving to the art museum in addition, so your gift is giving twice.
It's a gift that keeps on giving. Ah, now that's nice.
Okay, bye-bye. Thank you.
All right, just check out your favorite gallery or museum for great gift ideas, or simply give them a ticket. That's the gift of art. Well, if you're just joining us, we're here at the Festival of Trees at the Orlando Museum of Art, and it is simply beautiful. The trees are gorgeous. Just looking at them makes you think that, hey, I could do that. Well, maybe not so much, but someone who can do it and does it quite well is Candace Reed. She's a hairstylist by day, tree decorator by night. Candace, tell us all about your tree.
This year, I've themed my tree around Harry Potter and Hogwarts, and it's called Christmas at Hogwarts. And we have a Harry Potter flying over the tree. We have Voldemort standing in the shadows, lurking in the shadows, and a beautifully decorated tree that depicts life at Hogwarts or Christmas at Hogwarts. Everyone here does a themed tree. Some of them are so clever, and you stand there and just in wonderment at the beauty and sincerity and the presentation of the beautiful tree. It gives you ideas that you can go home and recreate yourself.
Yes, so you think.
Well, yes, you can. Some of them really aren't that difficult. Placement of the ornaments and the depth in the tree and how you bring the ornaments out so that you're looking at the tree, but you're also looking inside the tree and then out. It's a beautiful way to see your tree.
How do you come up with these ideas?
Well, I wanted to do something that children would like. And so I decided to do a Harry Potter theme. And I'd love for my tree to go home to a loving family that has children, or someone for their grandchildren, or even the best gift of it all, a donation of the tree to a child's home or a hospital or something like that, where a lot of children could enjoy the tree. But it definitely for a younger family to enjoy, and I hope somebody comes and takes Harry Potter home with them.
Absolutely. You're just one of the many designers in here. They're filled with beautiful trees. Tell us about some of the others.
IKEA has an especially wonderful tree. It's covered in toys, and I believe it's been bought for a donation already. There's a rock and roll tree that has a 1950s theme that's just adorable. Barney's did a great tree this year with a lot of candy and confections on it, of course, to go with your teas and coffee. But everybody presents a beautiful theme with a beautiful idea. There's a Winterland tree that depicts all winter sports. And we have trees with a lot of roses on them that create a romantic atmosphere in your home. There's also colored trees. Some are turquoise, some are chartreuse, some are a beautiful blend of colors. But we all try to give you something that's a little bit different, a little bit unique.
Yeah, absolutely. The Festival of Trees is actually the brainchild of the Council of 101. Tell us about them.
The Council of 101 works on this all year long. This is the biggest fundraiser they have, Cecily, and thousands upon thousands of people come to visit it every year. They do this production where they make it so easy for us to decorate our trees in this beautiful environment, and they're always there with a helpful hand in any way they can help us. They're always there asking, is there anything we can do for you? What do you need? Do you need another prop? Do you need to be lit yet? So I can't
do it without them.
I can't thank them enough. They make the Festival of Trees very, very special.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your creativity with us today,
Thank you. I
Candace.
enjoy this so much every year.
Absolutely. Again, if you're interested in coming out, it runs through Sunday, so check out the links at our website for dates and times. Well, coming up next are sounds that you aren't likely to hear often, a unique blend of instruments played by the Brass Band of Central Florida. Kristen Kenney has their story.
It's a unique sound with equally unique instruments.
This is, in fact, is an E-flat cornet, which is my instrument, and there's only one of me, which is probably a really good thing.
This is called a euphonium. Some people know it as a baritone horn.
The Brass Band of Central Florida, 29 members strong, plays to a different tune. Gail Robertson plays the euphonium, an instrument specific to a brass band.
It's pretty like that, and then you can do, low things. Lots of low notes. So, I mean, it does many, many different things. You can play fast,
And keeping the whole sound in tune is conductor Michael Garassi.
There's just something about the sound and the sheer power, and also the softness that you could get with a brass band that's just very, very appealing to me.
Brass bands are a British tradition. They started there in the 19th century, but the instrumentation has remained the same ever since. Yet bands like this are still quite rare in the United States. Just ask one of the group's founding members, Donald D. McAfee.
I had never played in anything like an ensemble like this. I'd never been in a brass band. I didn't even know what one was. I played in brass choirs, but this is quite different. This is like nothing I'd ever done. I thought this is something I could really enjoy.
The Brass Band of Central Florida took shape just 10 years ago. At that time, the group had to pay to play.
Our first concert we ever did, we had to pay $500 to play it. That was in Orlando, to rent out the band shell at Lake Eola.
Today, they still remain the only brass band in this area and one of only 3 brass bands in the whole state of Florida. But their popularity is certainly hitting a high note.
It's here at the St. Luke's Lutheran Church where the brass band regularly takes the stage for a full house. So full that they have up to 3 performances in one day.
That is pretty surprising, because especially knowing that, it's the same crowd that comes here, and they come back and come back again.
Principal tuba player Bob Tucker enjoys seeing how their music amazes each crowd.
Just watching the people is really amazing. Watching people who've never heard a brass band before and just watching them listen. You can tell that they're hearing something they've never heard before. It's a surprised look.
But their sound is only half of the appeal, says band member Rick Mazzell.
I think it's that connection that we attempt to make from the show portion, or the entertainment, or the breaking down the fourth wall again, and bringing the audience into the show.
And in this case, they break down the fourth wall by referencing the classic American film, Rocky.
We have like an American spin to the British-style brass bands, because the traditional British brass bands in England think we're unique because we use choreography.
This charisma has caught the attention of the international brass band scene, inviting them to perform in some of the most prestigious competitions.
We've been over to Great Britain twice. We've got to compete in 2 major competitions over there in the last 4 years. The British Open, which is we're the only second American band to ever compete at that.
To welcome in an outsider says a lot, and we've gone over there and actually changed their whole game.
That's why I think they invited us over there 2 times, because we brought something new to their banding world.
The Brass Band of Central Florida is now at the cusp of brass band revolution, both internationally and on our own turf.
We bring something that is completely different. There's nothing else like us in this area. Nothing. There's the Orlando Philharmonic, which is a very fine orchestra. What the Brass Band of Central Florida brings is we bring a show. We bring, as you just saw, we put on a show.
I'm not sure how well it would go over in an orchestral concert if the conductor came out in a Rocky outfit.
From the moment they step on stage, their uniqueness rings out. It might not go over well in any other musical ensemble, but it seems to be working for this group.
Now, this next story you are simply going to love. You're about to meet a group of men and women, singers and dancers who can shimmy and shake better than someone half their age. Oh, and I forgot to mention, they're all over the age of 60 and feeling fab. They have all the right moves. The years of talent twinkle all the way down to their toes. This talented group of men and women can rival any fresh competition. Some might expect they should be walking with a cane, but instead they're dancing with one. Kicking up their heels and showing off their skills. And get this, they're all over the age of 55.
I'm one of the younger ones. We have women up in their 80s in here, okay? And not that I'm a baby, but I am still in my 50s.
Ask me my age, 82, this past August. What's the alternative? I'm grateful that I'm still here. It's wonderful. And this dancing, I think, is helping a lot.
Miriam Crandell is considered the senior and the comedian in this group called the Fab Follies. She offers a bit of comedy relief on stage.
I laugh at myself. I mean, I'm listening to the way I'm singing and I get hysterical. You can see I'm laughing. I can't get over how the notes come out.
Each performer dancing and singing their way into the hearts of audiences across Central Florida. Not only do they have talent, but some of them have been on stage for more than 50 years.
One gal was with Jimmy Durante. I know one gal was performing with Milton Berle. You know, one of our girls, I understand, was with the Rockettes for a short period of time in New York.
And yes, even working with Elizabeth Taylor. No, not that Liz, this one.
Don't bring your problems in here and leave your egos outside.
Liz Darling has a no-nonsense approach as the Follies director, producer, and choreographer. She too has a long list of credits.
I did a lot of stage work. I did Peter Pan, I understudied Peter.
The Fab Follies became a reality when Taylor seized a golden opportunity to do something different.
You know, I started it because I saw these old people get up and walk out of shows. They just didn't like what they were seeing at the Civic Theatre, so that's when I went in and I said, do something for the seniors. And he said, wonderful, go ahead, Liz.
From there, she became a bit of a Pied Piper, recruiting, auditioning, and rehearsing senior citizens for what was sure to be unique to Orlando. What began with 10 singers, 10 dancers, and only 3 men is now up to 8 men.
I never thought that they would do it, but they are easier for me to handle than some of the women sometimes. They take direction so well.
What?
They take direction so well. It's when we go round here. If you're going to go to the right, keep it in your mind that you have to step onto the right foot to step up.
Douglas Watts is one of the men who loves the singing and the camaraderie. But there's one thing he says that takes some getting used to.
It's like having 37 wives. They all complain. I have to do everything.
The group is celebrating 10 years on stage in Central Florida.
All the day and night time.
And each show gives the audience more than they expected.
It was great, you know. I was really amazed, particularly, you know, great variety of songs, you know, some of the old-time standards. And, of course, the costuming, what can you say?
The accolades that I get at the end of the show are quite overwhelming. I sort of think, I think they're good, but are we that good, you know?
The short answer, yes. Even though the Follies don't get paid a dime, they're all committed to hitting the stage for more reasons than one.
I think I am doing great because of all this activity. What do they say? If you don't use it, you lose it.
Judging by the kick line, they've not lost one beat.
What do you think of the old girl now?
You look marvelous, darling. The Fab Follies' next performance is Tailor-Made Dreams at Annie Russell Theater on December 14th at 3 p.m. And as Liz Darling would say, take a friend to lunch, then take them to a performance for a great holiday gift. Well, we're not done with dancing just yet. Have you ever heard of clogging? Well, Kristen Kenney tells us what it's all about, and no doubt you'll get dancing fever with this one.
5, 6, ready, go!
Clogging definitely is very energetic,
and it gets your blood pumping, and not much else I'd rather be doing on any afternoon or weekend but with my feet and clogging around.
Clogging fever is what he calls it, and others are catching it. Meet Andy Howard. He's a PR guru for the Orlando Opera by day, but in his spare time, he teaches teen clogging classes at Turning Point Dance Studios in Longwood, where he says kids are now giving clogging a chance.
Everybody dance, go!
I have my work that I do as Director of Education and Community Relations for Orlando Opera Company, but it's nice to also be able to make a little bit of side money here and there and get paid to do the thing that you really love to do the most, and for me that's clogging.
Clogging has its roots in Europe, but the American team clogging tradition comes from the mountains of Asheville, North Carolina, beginning as a form of square dancing 80 years ago. This rich tradition also happens to be a Howard family tradition, introduced by Andy's grandparents.
When I was 8 years old, my grandmother suggested that my cousin and my sister and I take clogging classes at a local YMCA in LaBelle, Florida, where I was raised, which is near Fort Myers in southwest Florida. And we tried it and we loved it. One of the things we really enjoyed the most, aside from the energy aspect, was the performance aspect.
20 years later, Andy not only teaches clogging, but he's gone global with his own professional clogging troupe, American Racket.
We're invited by other countries abroad to represent the United States as cultural ambassadors. And so we'll travel with live musicians. Our last trip had 17 dancers and a 4-piece old-time music band. And we entertained crowds in Canada and showed them what American culture is about.
Contrary to popular myth, American clogging is not about a shoe, but a style of dance.
You know, they have these stereotypes in their heads that it's wooden shoes and windmills and tulips, and really American clogging has nothing to do with the image of the Holland clog shoe.
American clogging has everything to do with percussive dance footwork, a movement that is similar to tap dancing, but without the jazz beats.
Tap dancing and clogging look very similar because they are very similar. They're basically sibling forms that developed out of the same percussive dance solo traditions, dances that were done alone. And in about the 1920s, late 20s and the 1930s, the clogging tradition, team clogging, kind of came out of square dancing and old-time music and more of the rear guard appeal. And tap came out of jazz, and the jazz music was coming out of the cities and urban centers. And so at that point they kind of split off. The movement's still very similar. I think over time, particularly the last 10 years, the gap has kind of narrowed some.
Like any art form, clogging has evolved over the years, leading to variations like power tap, a collaboration of hip-hop, jazz, and cheerleading.
The important thing about traditions is to realize that they're still very much alive and evolving. And in the case of clogging, it's very much still the case that we can celebrate all our traditional styles, and at the same time, to the younger participants, it's very important to do more collaboration with hip-hop artists. It's another very important American form of folk culture, and as well as tap, and even breakdancing. And people are really finding new ways to exchange ideas through dance and across the mediums, and it's really exciting to see what the youth are coming up with.
But the traditional form of clogging, complete with trademark red, white, and blue denim costumes, will always be Andy's favorite style.
I think that helps incite that nostalgic Americana appeal that many people come and they want to see something that makes them feel good, and it does that. It makes me feel good when I'm doing it. I think the audience feels good when they're watching it.
That takes so much energy and talent. To learn more about American Racket, simply check out the links at our website. Well, that wraps it for us here at the Festival of Trees at the Orlando Museum of Art. The Arts Connection will be away for a few weeks, returning December 18th. In the meantime, look for a special program featuring the Orlando Ballet's former artistic director, Fernando Bajones. That's scheduled for December 7th at 7 p.m.
Fernando Bajones was a teacher, choreographer, and one of the most influential figures in the world of classical ballet.
Fernando was surprisingly humble and a very gentle.
As a young boy, he was a prince. He grew up to be a prince of dance.
He was so ferocious about what he wanted to do on stage. I mean, he was very disciplined and serious.
it created motivation and inspiration. And that's how he was as a partner, and that's how I saw later he was as a teacher and as a director.
We always said that it was something on him that make us dance perfect, and to have him on stage or even in the studio was just amazing.
Also, please listen up for the Arts Connection on the radio. That's 90.7 FM for the Arts Connection Minute, weekdays at 9:59 a.m. And don't forget to check us out on the web. You'll find our podcast there, as well as information for the stories you've just seen. You'll also find the Arts Connection blog with lots of information about the events and happenings right here in Central Florida. And you can also send us your ideas. That's WMFE.org/arts. Well, again, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.